Today we have one new attender here. Actually, he came to see me yesterday. So anyway, please I'll let you know, this is just Lamrim class, not a Lamrim teaching, just class. Okay, so everybody know it's a very simple class. We don't have any rule and regulation. You have to do this and that. Again, just feel free, you can sit whatever you want, or you can ask question. This is a class, no teaching. Okay, in the last Saturday, so we talk about offering mandala. After that, we talk about confession, and I hope everybody has a good understanding about offering mandala. So today we do very short revision about the offering mandala, right? So, okay, so everybody just use your hand. They have to offer the things. The first way, what you have to put on the mandala. So first you have to, hold the little grain or rice, whatever, on the left hand. In the left hand, and hand all the ground of the mandala, and hold little rice, whatever you have, put in the center of the mandala. And you recite the 100 syllable Bhadra Sadhu Samaya Manupalaya Maja Sadhu, or the short one, Bhadra Sadhu. But more importantly, that moment you need to visualize, you need to think, I'm purifying my negative thoughts, negative karma, ignorance, whatever, special, the obstacle which is block my practice. Then after that you can put another, rice, whatever, and inside. 3 times, very important. First, you should think, I'm going to receive the energy, blessing, teaching from the body, speech, mind from Buddhas. Okay. Then, put a little bit rice, then just put the first ring. Center, the standard Sharan Bapo, Lord Zabuling, No Palancho, Chan Termini, and Luida, Lupa, Nayata, Nayabji, Yondenda, Lanshoto, Terminiata, Terminigilda. Rinpoche, Rio, Pasanti, Shin, Renjuki, Pa, Mamupa, Loto. So then I think then you can put the second ring. Okay. So because in the text mentioned very clearly, you offer the 7 precious, in the sky of the moon mirror. Then first one, wheel of the precious resin. Precious jewel, precious cream, and in the 4 directions. Then next one, horse, elephant, horse, and general. Then treasure was. And we finish the 7 precious thing and plus the treasure was. Then they put the 3rd ring. Then on the 3rd ring, what you have to offer? You have to offer the 8 goddess. First one, grace of God, or whatever, beauty or grace first, and a 4 direction, 4 plus, and in the middle. Right? The more important one, sun on your right side, sun, moon, on the behind, parasol, info, banner, and put the top and a whole little rice. Then you can recite the short one, Saji, Chuji method, right? The short one, and you recite few times, and then moment you really need to visualize the whole merit fields. If you don't have the idea about merit fields, you imagine in front of you there's a Buddha Shakyamuni, there's hundreds of thousands of Buddha, Sangha, Dharma, plus your guru. The space is full of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, guru. But the merit field must be only imagine the being who achieve minimum like the seeing path, the transcendent beings. Then last one, after you finish offering, then you can just feel into your side fully. If you doing like 100 times, 1,000 times, then you just use the basis of the mandala and the first ring. This thing. Then we finish the mandala. So there are 37 offering mandala, 23 offering 7 mandala, and another 8 and 5, so many different types. Also the chanting is also different, traditions are different types. So you don't have to worry about that. You must know one tradition. So after offering mandala, and another important, that moment you visualizing the world and 4 continents and sub-continents, everything. And also you need to visualize the merit which is you accumulate in the past and now everything manifests as a mandala. You offering all of your belonging as well as your body, mind and speech to the merit field. Because you are, for example, that moment you are very serious practitioner. Very serious practitioner. Then you are really looking, you are only looking the practice, the path. You don't have any worry about your, body, mind and speech and belonging. So most important, whatever you offer with the non-attachment. Whatever you offer, you must offer with the senseless of computation. And the thing is not important. Motivation is the most important. As I mentioned, somebody can offer a piece of diamond which have 1 kilo, and somebody offer 1 piece of simple stone. The person who offers stone, their motivation is so clear, so pure, they can have more merit than the people who offer diamond. And the Buddhism, the practice of Buddha Dharma, is not much depends on the external things. It's very important about the internal things, the motivation, the way of thinking, because we are in samsara, we don't know how long we've been here. So, whatever we have, we are not happy with the external things. Also, we are not happy with our internal emotional things. So since today we have to change the way of thinking, the way of perceiving, the way of life too. As a being in the society, it's so difficult to change everything very quickly. But you cannot change your way of life. You have to stay in the society. You have to wear clothes. You need a food. You need a house. You have to stay with the society. You have to stay with your friends. You have to be, same as other people. But the way of thinking, you must change. If you not change the way of thinking, the way of perceiving, then you cannot have a good progress in your practice. So that's why the Kadampa, the practitioner, many Kadampa practitioners says, the external condition you just live as a before. You must change, the inner action, not the external action. You can see sometimes people look like showing other people, I'm a Buddhist, they're wearing very stained clothes and they're wearing very stained malas and so. So we don't have to change the external way of life. We have to change the way of thinking. Right now, what we think I am more important than the others. As a Mahayan practitioner, after you study Lamrim, you should think others are more important than me. Until now, what we think, in our mind, all the things which is around you, we think everything looks like a permanent. Now you need to think, no, the thing which is around me, everything is impermanent. It's changing, minute by minute. Until now, what we think, anger is good, attachment is good, jealousy is good. If I don't have anger, I cannot have a fight with others. And anger protect me. So you have to change the way of thinking, not the external things. So when you offer mandala, so you have to offer whatever belongs to you, everything. Then there's a two types of offering, right? One is the offering the material things. One is the the uncommon offering. Which one? Your practice. Your practice, your faith, your belief, everything have just image and manifest as a mandala. So this is kind of a revision about the mandala. So when you offer mandala, first you say the Om, right? Om Bhajar Bhumi Aham. Om. So Om has actually three parts. In the middle, A. Top of the A, there's an O. Because narrow. Top of the O, there's a Ma. Om together. Om. So that moment you must remember. Yes, you must remember the all the Buddha's quality about the body, speech, and mind. And you have a very strong desire about your body, speech, mind, wish to become as a Buddha body and mind, speech. Om. This will finish the mandala. Next, then we talk about the confession, right? Confession has how many parts? It has 4 parts, right? Confession. Look at the order, You have a strong wishing, a very strong desire about practice Dharma. And we have been trying practicing Dharma since we know Dharma. But we don't have a really good progress. Even though, me as a monk, I cannot see any, practice progress in my life. So I know about the teaching, I know most of the meaning of the Dharma. When I practice, I don't have a lot of progress. So what were the problem? That means there's an obstacle. Obstacle are the negative karma, which is we accumulated in the past. Then we really wish to purify the negative karma. Then the first the offering in order to accumulate a lot of merit, then confession. Confession clarify your negative karma. So it has 4 parts. What are they? Basis. Basis of confession, basis of reputation, basis of referent, basis of applying antidotes. Look at now, for example, when you want to cook something, you need you need things, you need a substance, you need a kind of the raw material which you want to cook. When you do the confession practice, you need to focus on something, right? That's the basis of the confession. The basis is the 2 parts, right? The Buddhas, including Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, whatever, the 3 jewels, and other one, sentient beings. Because we accumulate, negative karma, rely on Buddhas or rely on sentient beings. So for example, you had a argument with someone in this morning. It makes you upset, it makes other upset too. The best way what you need to do when you meet tomorrow the person, you really have to say sorry from your heart. That moment, the person is basis of the confession, basis. Also we accumulate a lot of negative karma, rely on the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Then you need to visualize what the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha as a basis of confession. The next one, repudiation, regret. So why we have a sense of regret about negative karma? In order to have a regret about the bad action, first you really need to you must have a conviction about law of causality. For example, if you really have a conviction, the cobra snake has a strong poison, you really don't want to touch. You know it has a very strong poison. If you bite, it's going to kill you. If you bite, the poison go in your body, you're going to die. So, in order to have a strong, really stable regret about negative karma, negative action, you really need to know the law of causality. For example, if you plant like a barley, it can grow barley. When you plant beans, it can grow beans. Barley never produces beans, beans never produce barley. And also fire make up, produce smoking. Smoking is arising from fire. There's a connection. So the happiness, which is we always wanted, the happiness also coming from negative, positive action, or the happiness also coming from the wholesome action, or action of body, speech, or mind. The wholesome action is the cause of the happiness. Unwholesome action or negative action is the cause of the suffering. So that's why when you have a negative karma, then you really you have a strong conviction. Yes, I accumulate negative karma. Anyway, I'm going to experience the result. I'm going to experience the suffering. So before you have a result of the negative karma, you must purify. For example, they give example, right? 3 people eat the poison food. One, dies. Second is got ills. Third doesn't have. The third person feels so regret. Oh, I ate the poison with those people. One is already dead. One is ill. Now I'm going to ill. Then I'm going to die. What he need to do? He must clean the poison before he gets sick. Same, with everybody, we accumulate, negative karma in the previous life, we accumulate negative karma yesterday or today. So we must purify the negative karma before we experience the suffering. So the regret. The regret must have, based on understanding of law of causality. Regret. Right? So if you don't have a conviction of a law of causality, maybe you can have a little regret. I don't think you have a very strong regret, which is I not want to do again and again, regret. Right? The next one? Refraining. Yeah. Refraining is, so look at. So now you really know the negative karma, negative karma always keeps suffering. Then you should have a commitment. Okay, the negative karma always give us suffering. So I did the negative karma this morning or yesterday and today. So since today, I'm not going to do any negative karma, negative action. So some negative karma you can abandon since today. Okay, everybody can say yes. I'm not going to kill any human being since today. You can have a commitment. I'm not going to kill any sentient beings, with that intention since today. Of course, everybody can. So if there another kind of action, somebody some of you usually drink alcohol or smoking, so it's so difficult to make a commitment. I won't drink beer, alcohol whole life. And what you need to think, I'm not going to drink alcohol today. When you get up today, no smoking today, no drinking alcohol today, no lying, no cheating, not any bad action today. Just make a commitment only today. And next, when you get up morning, okay, I'm so happy, so lucky yesterday. I haven't had any negative action. Why not I should try today? Okay, pass today. It's very easy, the regret and the, refining, right? Refining. Then fourth one, applying antidotes. So how many antidotes are mentioned in the text? 6. Okay. Can you tell me the 6? The first one.
Names of the Tathagatas. Mantra, sutra.
Oh, yeah.
Making offerings.
First, you can recite the name of Tathagatas. You can recite any Tathagata's name, especially the 35 Buddha's name. So I hope everybody going to remember the 35 Buddha's name, and on next Saturday, and the Zuna, the mantra. You can recite many mantras. Any of mantra, the very important one, you can recite the mantra, the 100 syllable, or the short one, Om Mother Sarvabhaum. Then Do Sutra, Sutra. Here when it says Do, it includes the Tantra and Sutra both teaching. The next mention the emptiness. Okay, and you have some understanding of emptiness, then you must meditate on emptiness. So even though if somebody has a doubt about emptiness, it can minimize, it can eliminate the negative karma. So meditate on emptiness. Then offering. And also you can you can buy Buddha statue, you can buy text and so. And also, it's so difficult, you can say in the publicly, you can say in front of many people, okay, I did this. It's so difficult to say in front, but in your mind you should think, yeah, I did this, so I'm not going to do this again. Next, that is 5 Buddhas, right? So these are different color, different mudra, different things on the hand. Okay, now we start about the rejoicing. Okay, so now I will open my text. So anybody has any question before I start the new subject? Yes.
For the Vajrasattva, you only recite here.
Oh, yeah.
So when you do the mantra for the, before you list out the order, you must do the higher tantra and then the Buddhas and all that. Do you do Vajrasattva then at all?
Vajrasattva, actually, for me, when I practice, when I do the practice of Yamendaka, I do in the middle. But as a beginner, I think I mentioned every evening, before you go to bed, you just reflect all your day, how many good things you have done, what bad thing you have done. You just reflect. It's so difficult to remember each of them. If you try, you're going to remember everything since morning till evening. So then when you remember, yes, I did this kind of bad thing, I remember now. Also, I know I have a lot of negative karma which is accumulated in the previous life. and you do the Vajrasattva practice in the evening before you go to bed. And I thought I should explain the Vajrasattva practice, then I think it's not convenient to explain, but I have to pronounce the few mantra. So in the text mentioned, one mantra is the multiplying mantra, right? Multiplying mantra. Yeah, I think everybody has in the English, right? So somebody can read for me in the English?
Is that all Manjushriyan?
This one, the mantra of prostration. So before you do prostration, you must recite the mantra of prostration. Om Namo Manjushriye, Namo Sushriye, Namo Uttama Shriye Swaha. It is not in the text, right? It's just mentioned. You can write it down. Om Namo Manjushriye. Yeah. Om Namo Manjushriye. Right? Om Namo Manjushriye. The second one, Nama Sushriye. Nama Sushriye. Third one, Nama Uttam Shriye Swaha. Nama Uttam Shriye Swaha. This is a mantra of the prostration. You must recite 3 times first, then you can recite any Buddha's name, okay? So the offering mantra, yes, in the text there's an offering mantra, right? Anybody can read for me in the English? Okay. Namo Renataya, right? The first one, Namo Renataya.
It's a different mantra. It's not the multiplication mantra. The one that Geshela mentioned is the other one.
In the offering. Yeah.
Is it the English one?
Yes, the English one.
I think also in the Pustakara somewhere. Here, page number 155. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, right. Namo Bhagavate, Om Namo Bhagavate, Vajara, Sara, Paramadana, Tathagathaya, Arhate, Samya Sam, Buddhaya, Teyatha, Om Vajara, Vajara, Mahavajara, Mahateja Vajara, Mahavajra Vajraya, Mahabodhi Sadhava Vajraya, Mahabodhi Mantopa, Sankaramana, Vajara, Sarva, Karva, Na, Vishuddhana, Vajara, Swaha. These are offering, the mandala. When you set up everything, and then you can recite this mantra.
Since over is a fusion of offering.
Yeah. Then is also mentioned another mantra, right? The multiplying mantra is somewhere.
Page
188, okay. Yeah. In Tibetan, Om Sambra Sambra Bhima Na Sara Maha Jawa Hum, right? Japa Hum. Om Mara Mara Bhimana Kara Maha Jawa Hum. This is the multiplying mantra. You can recite anytime in offering or prostration, whatever. Okay, so we finished that mantra things. Next, we just start, the new subject about the fourth lamb, rejoicing. So rejoicing is antidote of ego or jealous. So in the text mentioned, rejoicing is very important. One of the king, right, Prasanajit. At the Buddha time, there were 6 kings. One of the Prasanjit. He was one of the very important kings. So one day he invited Buddhas, include many other, arhats, bodhisattvas, and he offered food and clothes, many things. And when Buddha asked, okay, now you accumulate a lot of merit, where you want to dedicate, for what? Then he said, I want to dedicate the merit in order to have a successful, life, successful kingdom. And the next, there's another beggar who didn't have anything to offer to Buddhas, but he has very pure rejoicing for the king. The king was so lucky. He invited, all the Buddhas, all the bodhisattvas, all the arhat, and he offered so many things. He was so, lucky person and really have a pure rejoicing about his activities. And the Buddhas know it. Then Buddha said, oh, compare with your offering merit with the beggar who has accumulated merit with the rejoicing. He accumulated more merit than you. The king, spent a lot of things, but he accumulated good merit. The beggar didn't offer anything, but he accumulated a lot of merits because through rejoicing. So, when you see someone doing prostration, practice, reciting, or when you see someone doing some, service in the nation, good service in the home, old care center, or service in the hospital, you just, should have a rejoicing. So rejoice is talking about rejoicing, right? And also important, one of the king asked Buddha, as a lay person, I cannot do a lot of practice. Please teach me, how I can practice as a lay person. The Buddha teaching, rejoicing, practice of bodhicitta, then what? Dedication. Okay. So this is very easy for everybody, especially for very easy for lay person. The rejoicing. And also dedication. So dedication, another important, because if you don't dedicate your merit, it's not going to increase, also it's going to destroy it by anger. Okay, so dedication is important. And practice bodhicitta. So in order to develop bodhicitta, in order to practice bodhicitta, you need a good kind of condition in your mind. If you have a pure rejoicing for others' good deeds, then you have a good merit. And also you dedicate your own merit, you dedicate other people's merit, and also you have a good condition in your mind state. Therefore, you very easy to develop bodhicitta. Usually, when we think, when you listen the teaching of bodhicitta, we feel, it's quite easy to understand. Yes, it's very easy to understand about bodhicitta. When you listen teaching about emptiness, of course everybody feels it's so difficult to understand the meaning of emptiness. If you try to understand emptiness, if you really try to understand emptiness very seriously, just continuously 1 month, I think you're going to understand emptiness within one month. If you try to develop bodhicitta, if you try 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 7 years, 10 years, it's so difficult. Because we don't have enough good condition in our mind state. When we don't have enough the positive good quality, positive conditions, which is the merit. Also we have a lot of negative condition in our mind, which is the negative karma. So in order to develop bodhicitta, you purify negative karma, also you accumulate merit. Based on 2 of them, you can develop bodhicitta very easily. That's why practitioners say, bodhicitta, easy to understand, difficult to develop. Emptiness, difficult to understand, easy to develop. One, we have very difficulty for understanding emptiness, because this is maybe the first time in our life, or lifetime, not only this life, okay, our lives, previous life. Maybe this life is the first life, which is we hear about emptiness, which is we hear about bodhicitta. So how we can understand very easily, how we can develop very easily, is we are first time. We are just first time enter in a school. The first I don't think we can understand everything. It is first time in our life. So maybe this is the first time we were born in the human being. We don't know. So it's that's why Buddha asked to practice rejoicing, develop bodhicitta, and dedicate. So dedication. So here very important one, rejoicing. So it's mentioned, three types of kind of rejoicing. When you rejoice in the person, good activity, the people who are very same level as you, education is same, the same age, same education, kind of same, look like same person. When you rejoice, his or her activity, you're going to accumulate how many? Double, right? So without doing nothing, just rejoicing. Okay, the love equal one, and the person is lower than you, right? It's mentioned 3 people, right? If is lower than our, we will receive twice. And if the person is lower than you, then if you have a rejoicing the lower people activity, you're going to have a benefit twice. If the person is equal with you, then you're going to have an equal benefit. The person is higher than you, then you're going to have a half benefit. So we must have a rejoicing for anybody lower than you, equal with you, higher than you. Here higher, not just talking about education is a higher, economically higher with the practice. So higher, if we compare we and higher people, there are many highest people, right? All the Buddhas, all the Bodhisattvas, all the Arahats, all the people who enter in the path, all the people who practice bodhicitta, they are more than higher than us. If you have a pure rejoicing in the Buddha's activities, Bodhisattvas activities, Arahats activities, then you're going to accumulate in half of amount of merit which they accumulate. If they accumulate 100, then you're going to accumulate 50%. It's very big. Even though Bodhisattva, when Bodhisattva practice bodhicitta within one day, the Bodhisattva will accumulate a lot of merits. Even though we cannot accumulate that type of that amount of merit in our whole life. Even though if we compare our all merit which is we accumulated in the past, in this life, we cannot compare. If you have a rejoicing, the Bodhisattva activities, you can accumulate a lot of merit. Rejoicing is very important. The three, you can rejoicing with the lower person, equal person, higher person. Higher include all the Buddhas. The next, rejoicing, there's two types. You can rejoice in your own merit. Also, you can have rejoicing with other merit, other people merits. Right? In the chapter number 191, last one, rejoicing over your own. True way to meditate on the lambs. Rejoicing over your own virtues, rejoicing over the virtues of others. So when you want to, rejoicing yourself virtues, there's two types. One is the present life, one is the previous life. So previous life, you have to understand, you have to know through inferential cognition, right? Yeah. Rejoicing over your virtues from this life, you can discern from mean of direct valid cognition. Whatever you've done in this life, you can understand through the direct cognition. Because you can experience, you can remember, you can think, right? You can remember what you did in this life. Direct cognition. And the rejoicing over your past lives, virtues, which is you can discern by means of inferential valid cognition. Anybody know what does mean inferential valid cognition?
Does that mean based on the situation you're in now?
Mm-hmm.
If you are now a beggar or very poor or whatever,
mm-hmm.
then you must have not accumulated much in a past life.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got quite a good circumstance now, it infers that you had merit in
the
past
past.
lives.
Yeah, that's right. For example, inferential we usually use, we everybody here. Now we can see, we have a lot of hairs in Singapore. So why we have a lot of hairs? The hairs, then we're going to know the hairs come from the fire in Indonesia. So we cannot see the fire, but we can understand the fire through our inferential cognition. So she said, right, for example, if you have a good condition, good cause and condition, the result will be good. It's a law of nature. The condition is worse, not that good, the result will be also not that good, right? It's very kind of logical. So that's why right now everybody we are so lucky, especially being as a Singaporean, somebody will feel, oh, I'm not so lucky person, I don't have this, didn't have that. You shouldn't think this way. You should think I'm a very lucky person as being a Singapore, very safe country, very clean country. I can say you have everything compared with other. If you compare our life with the higher realm, that we are nothing, we don't have anything. But as a human being in Singapore, we are so lucky. All the good, the condition which you have is coming, it come from somewhere, come from some good, causes and condition. Now we have a human life. Everybody doesn't have a very serious illness. We don't have a serious problem. Yes, everybody has some problem here and there. Until we have this physical body, the problem always there. The physical body needs a food. The physical body needs water, clothes. So far we have a physical body, the problem always there. But you shouldn't think this is a kind of problems. You should think this is the way of life. Look at now, the happiness which we have is arises from good condition, good action, which we get good karma in the previous life. Here one sentence you can see, the precious life, the precious past life give you your present precious human body. So current precious monk, don't throw your future over the precipice. So you must think, my precious previous life give me present precious human being, human body. Yourself, okay? My precious past life give me the person, the wonderful human body, human life. So current my precious life, me, I don't want to throw my future life in the misery. So sometimes, we are very much, we have sometimes we have a misconcept. When we think about our future life, we think, oh, I must go in the temple, do prostration, offering mandala, offering flower, food for the Buddha. The Buddha can give me the good life. This is very in perception, misunderstanding. If you really want to have a good human life in the next life, what you need to do, you have to practice ethic, have to be honest, have to be good human being, have to be maintain your you tell a vows. Then we don't have to worry about. We shouldn't have too much worry about our next life. If you do everything in the right way in this life, then you're going to have a good life in the future. So this kind of this thing we have to know through our through logic or reasoning or inferential valid cognitions. So we have two types of rejoicing your own merit and rejoicing other. Own merit in the present life and the past life. So the next one, rejoicing over other people, the virtues of others. Rejoicing over the virtues of others. So it mentioned also, we say it is so difficult to have a rejoicing over the virtues of our enemy. As a Buddhist, I mentioned many times, we shouldn't have a human being enemy. All the human beings are not our enemy, not your enemy. Yeah, they disturb you sometimes here and there, but actually they are one of your dear, used to be dear father, mother, brother, sister. So that's why we Buddhists, we have to accept all sentient human beings, as well as all sentient beings. Is so kind for me, they are so helpful for me, so I must respect everybody. We don't have a really enemy. But unfortunately sometimes people forget the people who live next to you, you think they are my enemy. Just you say he or she is enemy. When they do some good thing, we always think, they are doing very strange thing. We don't have a really, admire. We don't have a rejoicing for others. It's so difficult to have a rejoicing for the, virtues of your enemies. Of course, friends very easy, and stranger is okay. And also, very important one, over the virtues of person in the 5 types of rebirth. So do you know the 5 types of person in the 5 types? 5. Does everybody have the handover copy about the expiration of the king? The 7 limb? Okay, this is the problem. If you didn't memorize, you have to really have the pages, paper. I have over in English, right? Expiration of king.
Oh yeah, the 7.
Yeah, 7 limb.
King of aspiration.
Yeah. King of observation, the noble expression of excellent conduct. Right? Okay, here you can see in the last sentence, page number 112. Right? Page number 112, at the last sentence. So, before this sentence is mentioned, page number 112, under the influence of desire, hatred, and ignorance, I have committed wrong. This is talking about the confession. That after the confession, the rejoicing here, and I rejoice in all that in the merit of all the victorious one, the Buddha's child. Second, right? All the victorious and the Buddha's child. This is talking about Buddha, all the Buddha who live in the 10 direction, and the Buddha's child, which means the Bodhisattvas, and also talking about the Pratika Buddhas. Buddha, the 5 types of all the Buddha, and the Bodhisattvas, Pratika and Herod Buddhas, put together 3, and the learned and the non-learners. The last one, right? Self-Buddhas, learners and non-learners. These are 5. Right? All the victorious one, Buddha's child 2, self-Buddha 3, learner and non-learners 4 and 5. He's talking about 5 kept in person. Rejoicing. Then after that, I think the request, right? I request all those guardians who have awakened in the Buddhahood, and the form detachment. They're talking about the request. The next one talking about the turning wheel of the Dharma. The last about talking about the dedication. So please, everybody must memorize the 7 limb. It's very important. Okay, 7 person in, because a person in the 5 types. So special you can have a rejoicing other beings, and special you can have a rejoicing in the 5 types of rebirth, 5 types of person. okay, the rejoicing. If you have a rejoicing, virtues of other, you can accumulate lot of merit. If you have a pure rejoicing your own karma, you can accumulate a lot of merit as well. It increase your own merit. Increase your own merit is a true reason. The next one, rejoicing will of dharma. So look at, now you are very serious practitioner. Now you really need to want to practice. Then you need to rely on a teacher. You really need to rely on a guru or master. That you are very serious practitioner. You really want to practice. In order to practice, you need to learn. In order to learn, you need a teacher. You need a guru. So you always, recourse to guru. Shouldn't take a nirvana. You shouldn't pass away. Please remain with me as long as because I need to learn from you. There's an order, will of dharma. Here, when he talk about requesting the will of dharma to be thrown, then he's talking about the Four Noble Truths, right? So very important one. Here, look at page number 194. So Buddha throned the will of dharma of the first time, teaching the four truths to the first five disciples. The important one, Buddha listed the four truths 3 times. Therefore, talk about the 12 aspects. This is 3 times, 12 aspects. I don't think you got the explanation before. Anybody know what are the 3 times? 4 truths, 3 times, and 12 aspects. Anybody has any idea? Sonam? Huh? Okay. So 3 times, look at it. So when Buddha talk about 4 noble truths, first he talk about what? Truth of suffering. Second, truth of origin of suffering. The third, cessation. Fourth, path to cessation. Okay. The first, when he talk about the truth of suffering, Buddha said, this is suffering. This is truth of suffering. The first said, this is truth of suffering. You must understand the truth of suffering. The second, first, this is truth of suffering, the one time. The second time, you must understand the truth of suffering. The third one, once you fully understand the truth of suffering, then you no more going to understand. 3 times, okay? And Tibetan say dungal shebarcha. No, dini dungal pabe dembao. This is the truth of suffering. Dungal shebarcha. You must understand truth of suffering. Dungal shebarcha. Once you fully understand the truth of suffering, then you're not going to learn any more. 3, right? This is the truth of suffering. You must understand truth of suffering. When you fully understand truth of suffering, you no need to learn any more truth of suffering. Next, when you talk about origin of suffering, or the same. This is truth of origin of suffering. Second, when he talk about truth of suffering, what he said, you must understand. Second, he said, you must abandon. Okay. For example, you must understand this is suffering. The next one, you must, this is the truth of origin of suffering, which is all suffering arising from ignorance, attachment, desire, negative karma. Then you must abandon what? The origin of suffering. Second. Third is self. If you finally fully, abandon the origin of suffering, there's no more abandon. Each truth he talks like a 3 times kind of aspect, kind of action, aspect in action. So we just finished, the 2 truths. The third one, he said, this is truth of the cessation, truth of cessation. You must achieve, you must attain. And goba pabe dembao, goba munducha, goba. When you fully, attain the cessation, there's no more any attempt. Cessation. 3. The path. This is truth of the path. First. Second is you must practice. Or you must practice, you must familiar with the path. Your mind must familiar with the path. When you fully go through the path, you don't have to go again through the path. Look at, very important. This is the truth of suffering, you must understand. This is origin of suffering, you must abandon. This is a cessation, you must attain, you must achieve. This is truth of the path, you must practice, you must familiar with the path. Okay, this means the doctor said, okay, this is serious illness for you. You must, what? You must, you must cure, you must clean the sickness. It's very serious. Then this is a good medicine. Then what? You must eat. Then after you eat the medicine, this is a good medicine you must eat. After you eat the medicine, you're going to cure the disease. The curious disease that is the path. In order to cure the disease, you have to go through many process. So that's why 3 times, okay? So totally, how many? 4, 3, 12. Okay, it's very important. So, when we think about the 4 Noble Truths, we think the teaching of the 4 Noble Truths is quite huge. No, actually, when you see the text, it doesn't have more than 5 pages. Very simple. And also, I want to show you, turn this ready for another one. So, look at all the Lamrim, which is written by Gelugpa masters, Kagyupa master, Nyingma master, Sakya master, Chinese master, any masters. All the root of the Lamrim is what? The path, lamb to the path to enlightenment. Look at these the pages. It doesn't have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just 7 pages. That's why in the Lamrim, great Lamrim, Tsongkapa says, this great Lamrim rotor. This the path, lamb to the path, the lamb path to the enlightenment. The rotor is also rotor of the Lamrim Chenmo, great Lamrim. Because, when he gives the teaching, he just composed the key thing. All the explanation, carried by, master to master. The finally Tsongkapa written down all the meaning. Look at that. Changchu Lamrim, very few pages. Also you can memorize. So, in the Chamchu Lamrim, that now we are studying about we are talking about the offering, the prostration. So when we actually start the Lamrim, then I will compound the Lamrim with the Lamrim. So we just have this is the Lamrim, verses, this is the Lamrim. So we just compound together. So look at it, it's not very small, very short teaching. But the four noble truths is very simple, very short. It's not really big, not more than 4 pages. Okay, now we learn about the 12 aspect. Also, I hope you remember the 16 characteristic of Four Noble Truths. Right? 16. Yes, of course, most of you, didn't attend the 10th class. Each truth has 4, characteristics.
Arise, abides, and death, right?
The first has 4: impermanence, suffering, selflessness, and empty of inherent existence.
Anti-inherent existence.
Okay, for first truth has 4 characteristic. Each truth has 4 characteristic. This has 16 characteristics. So when we study about tenets, then we can learn more precisely. Okay, we have 12 aspect and 3 times with each truth, totally 12 aspect. So when Buddha gave a teaching of Four Noble Truth, there were 5 disciples. Within the 5, right? Ajnata Kundiana, when Tibetan say Kunshi Kudinaya. When Buddha said this is truth of suffering, and then the disciple understood emptiness right there. He became Arhat. The next one, other 4 become steam eaters. Steam eaters. Of course, this is very new, term for you. So now do you remember?
Stream enterers.
Steam eaters. What are the other 3? No returning, no returning, return, no return.
The return one.
No returning, and Arhat.
4, right?
Yeah, 4. Anyway, there is mentioned only the steam eaters, right? Steam eaters, Yuju. Chiro mean, return. Yuju Chimo. Chimyo is the non-return. The last one, the Arhat. For example, the practitioner and in the Hinayan practitioner, when they practice, someone have to reborn again in the desire realm, because they don't abandon the desire afflictive emotions. They have to just enter and just enter the path. Then someone have to reborn again. This means return in the desire realm, because they don't eliminate all the afflictive emotion of desire realm. They have to come back, they have to reborn. The third one, when they abandon all the afflictive emotion of desire realm, they're not going to reborn against desire. They said non-return. The last, when they abandon the desire in afflictive emotion of desire realm, afflictive emotion of form and formless realm, they never returning in the samsara. They just remain in the arhat states. They say, he just mentioned the interesting. Okay, then we just finish the 5th, then requesting of Dharma. So the next we shall move about the sixth lamb, right? Petitioning, right? The pronunciation is correct? Petitioning. The married field do not enter nirvana. So, where a serious practitioner, you need a guru. You have to request the guru give a teaching. Then you have to request the guru, shouldn't take a parinirvana, shouldn't pass away because I need you until I achieve nirvana. There's an order. Okay, do not enter nirvana. It is mentioned here, generally, in all the Buddhas, never go into nirvana. Why not? Right? According to Mahayana tradition, we believe once you become a Buddha, you're never going to die. You can live forever. It doesn't mean they became a permanent, but they're not going to die for they can live forever. Why? Look at, we are talking about death or dying. Death. Death means, look at, so we have a mind, we have a physical body. The physical body look like a car. We look like driver. Within your one lifetime, you have to change 2-3 cars. You can drive a car for 10 years, in Singapore 10 years, right? So, after 10 years, you have to change another car, you have to buy a new car. So as a Singapore, you need 3 cars or 4 cars in one life. This means you are changing the car. The driver is you. Look at, we are talking about death. Death means that our physical body is not able to use anymore. It became very old. It's look like we cannot repair again. It's too old. Then we have to leave this body. This means death. It is not really a scary thing. It's changing the physical body. Sometimes we are very worried about death, right? As an old person, I think we should be very happy for death. When you death, you will become very small baby. Everybody care, everybody love you. Everybody give you a lot of gift. Why we are worried about death? But if you are sure you have enough good karma, if sure you don't have a lot of negative karma, it must be very happy for dying. Right?
So you become baby again and receive the present.
Very baby, everybody care, everybody, even though they don't have enough money, they buy very new thing. Right? Must be happy. We shouldn't worry about death. That's why, So, when I forget to explain the very important one. So, once you become a Buddha, all Buddhas, any Buddha doesn't have the physical body. Okay? Think about, very interesting, not interesting, I will explain you very short the concept from the Tantarayana. I already explained one time, I remember. So when we leave this body, we are leaving, the gross body, gross one, the subtle body with us, we just go. The subtle body is not other than the subtle energy, or subtle energy wind. Once you totally abandon the physical body, you are not more, the gross body is not more necessary for you. That means that moment your mind is not separate than the subtle energy. Subtle energy is not separate than your you. It's just one one thing has a two aspect. Because when you look at the object, you are perceiving the object from here to in your eyes, right? This means the object is coming here, or something is going there. When you look at something, right? Everybody can see the Buddha. When you see the Buddha, you can perceive the Buddha in your mind. The Buddha is coming to your mind, or your mind is going there. How you can receive? So according to Tantrayana, see, when you look at there, the subtle energy going there, touching the object. That means due to moving, from here to there, that they call subtle energy. Due to aware the object, then we call mind. When you reach very high level practitioner, then you are no more rely on the gross level body. You are only rely on the subtle body. The subtle body is, remains with you forever.
Is that permanent?
No permanent. So so that's why something remains is forever, not necessarily be permanent. So consciousness. So for example, let's say we were born. For example, I was born in 1965. Since 1965, I was baby and becomes, but the continuum is there, right? But the continuum of me is not permanent. It's continuous, it's forever, but not permanent, right? So someone become Buddha, and the Buddha just rely on the subtle body. Subtle body cannot be destroyed any other force. So that's why Buddha remains forever. According to Hinayana tradition, in Thai or Sri Lanka, they believe Buddha already passed away, no more. But we say Buddha took a parinirvana in order to remind us the impermanence. Look at, for example, our great leader Singapore is Kuan Yin. Lee Kuan Yew. Look at this moment when he passed away, everybody feels so upset. Some things feel very uncomfortable. Once he is very great person, once it reminds us one day you have to die. That's why Buddha just took parinirvana in order to remind us the impermanence. Also, in order to remind, you shouldn't be lazy. You must practice, otherwise one day you're going to die. Like me, he was showing. Okay, so that's why this is telling some story, right? So before Buddha passed away, Buddha turned to the Ananda. Okay, page number 195. The Tathagata had become much accustomed to cultivating the four fearlessness. What are the four fearlessness? Everybody remember? Does everybody remember? Four fearlessness. I explained last week. Okay. Four miraculous legs. Yes, I didn't explain the last one.
Miraculous leg.
Yeah. The fearless explained, right? So now remember?
I'm sorry, Geshela, I don't remember.
No.
Do you remember I explained?
Reflections of that past. I don't think that you mentioned about the four fearlessness.
Yes, I explained.
No, you didn't.
Fearless.
No, can't remember.
That's I explained related to.
Maybe you planned it.
Maybe you plan to.
Maybe you
No.
planned it.
I said, okay, even though somebody going to claim I'm a Buddha, in the deep down they have a little fear, right? So Buddha, Buddha is totally fearless with everything, but special is totally fearless about claim to be Buddha. I'm a Buddha. I achieve nirvana. First, fearless for claiming himself a Buddha. Fearless about claiming himself, I attend all the practices. Also, I attend, the truth path and truth cessation. Second, the third one, he was totally fearless to tell the people, tell the human being, all the negative action, negative karma are obstacle. Obstacle for in this life or next life, or the obstacle for the achieving nirvana. So one I don't remember. I explained this one here, definitely maybe in the 10th class.
Geshela, you mentioned something like that, but you didn't tell us that is the four fearlessness. You did mention the fearless.
Yeah.
Enlightenments,
Yeah.
that there is.
It's related, it's related to. Anyway, okay, the four fearless. The next time,
What's the fourth one? The first one is he claimed he's a Buddha. The second one is he attained enlightenment.
Claim, fearless for claiming as a Buddha. Fearless claiming achieve the nirvana and the pure path. The fearless to tell that the negative karma action are obstacle.
3.
Or third, fourth one.
Practitioner. Practitioner.
Third, fourth one. I think not obstacle. All the negative reflection and are the obstacle for achieving nirvana. Just first is just obstacle. I hope but I will explain precisely in the next class. Also for miraculous legs.
Right, Geshela, we
Finish the time.
No, we didn't finish the time. We reached the time at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Then look at here. So Buddha told to Ananda, as a Buddha, he has a four fearless, four miracle legs. So they can live for any eon or more if they so wish. So Buddha told to Ananda, so Buddha can live forever. And that moment, Ananda, he didn't understand what Buddha was talking about. If that moment, Ananda, could request to him, shouldn't take a parinirvana, then Buddha can stay longer. So nobody requests to him, because that's why he was passed away when he was 80 years old. That moment, Ananda's mind was influenced by demon. So that's why after Buddha passed away, and then Ananda got punishment from the Sangha's member. One said, you're supposed to request to Buddha for not taking parinirvana, you shouldn't request. We must give you punishment. Second, when you serve Buddha, you never eat the leftover food from Buddha, we're going to give you punishment. Because he was, son of the king, he has very strong kind of arrogant. I'm a king, I'm not going to eat any leftover food. He didn't eat the leftover food Buddha. First, you request this one. You didn't eat the leftover food for Buddha. And another thing, due to three reasons, he got lot of punishment.
He exposed Buddha's body to the non-believer because some claim.
No. When Buddha was traveling from some place to other distance, Buddha needed water. So he just got water on the stream and just bring the water to Buddha. That's why Buddha got sick. The water was just crossed by many horses and donkeys, so deities. So that he got sick. One he showed Buddha's.
Exposed Buddha's body. I thought I heard this,
Okay.
that many non-Buddhists claim that Buddha is not a man.
Let's tell one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when after Buddha passed away, he exposed Buddha's body to say that he is a man. But
No,
that is
yeah.
a story that I heard from a lama long time ago. I never come across any text, but it says that.
I haven't heard about. No, there's no doubt because when Buddha was young, he married.
Yes.
Right? He has a child.
I'm just telling you what I've heard.
So anyway, so that's why he got a punishment from the Sangha members. But the Sangha member intentionally gave a punishment him because he had a strong arrogant and the son of the king. He was not really practitioner. After that, he seriously became practitioner then he achieved arhatship. Okay, the next one we have the dedication. There's not much. So next, everybody try to remember the Buddha's name, colors, and Buddha's what thing in the hand. Okay, so.